Hey everybody, what's happening, all you good people? So this is Donna Meals with Empowered Meals, and we're working on day 8 of my little series, our little challenge. It's, what's it called again? Oh yes, qualify your food, qualify your life. Folks, this is really, it's all about empowerment. That's the name of my business, you know. And I've said this before, but really empowerment really begins with your own self-love, your own self-confidence, and just the wisdom of being able to use your experiences to benefit you. I mean, innately, we all really know what we're supposed to do. This series for me really has been just an exercise of me trying to enlighten some people to some of the dangers that have been lurking in our regular food. I mean, that's really all. It's just unbelievable when you really understand the full scope of it. And so my whole deal here has been awareness, not only of that, but I've literally been trying to show everyone that there's such a tie, such a connection between, you know, our physical self and our emotional self. It's funny because, I was watching Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love him. YouTube him. He is amazing. One of the forerunners of all the brain science that's coming out. And I think once you really understand how your mind works, then you can kind of control it, you know. You be in the driver's seat. That's like empowerment 101 there. But I wanted to go through, and I don't have a meme here today. Well, I do, but it's not like a quote or anything. It's basically the old adage, and I just texted it to a friend of mine who, I'm doing great in this cryptocurrency thing, and I was telling her, I'm like, just throw $100 in, it's gonna go up today, and it has. It's gone up like 26% already today. She would have made some money, but she said, oh, I'm just so afraid, my friends will think I'm an idiot if I lose money and I can't afford, I'm like, and I caught myself saying, texting, nothing ventured, nothing gained. When you think about all of the most amazing scientists, entrepreneurs, anybody out there that's ever done anything for all the people on this planet and made it a better place, it's because they took a chance and they believed in themselves, and they just said, what have I got to lose, really? And I kind of feel that way with our health. If and again, the Einstein, do the same thing and expect different results is, definition of insanity. That's not a quote, I was just paraphrasing, but it's all about that. And I'm not pleading with you guys or saying, hey, I'm just trying to make a point. And I didn't even take some of this stuff seriously until, not as serious as I do now, that's for sure, until about 5 or 6 months ago when I was forced to make a change. And, I did. And I can't believe how much better I feel. I've been dropping pounds here and there. I finally kind of got in the zone of where I needed to be. And sometimes you just need a coach to work you through that. I mean, I am a life, health, weight loss coach, and I needed someone to give me a different perspective, someone to hold me accountable, and someone to say, hey, jump out of your box. Did you ever think of doing this or this? And quite frankly, this naturopath I went to introduced me to a few things that I didn't even know. And here I thought I knew everything. Nah, Just kidding. But, when we go and we think, about our mind-body connection, once you get, I guess I'm getting to, once you talk your mind into being on board, the body will follow. Conversely, if you're having a hard time getting all of your thoughts in order, it's really hard if your biology's not up to speed, because, it's all about how we feel physically and mentally. Our human existence, we will go towards the least amount of pain, the most amount of pleasure. And, we do kind of tend to gravitate towards things like that. So that's why doing a new regimen that's not our regular thing is kind of scary. It is. Our body doesn't like change. Our mind doesn't like change. But once you get those together and they're on the same page, life is so much easier. And I'm not talking about even losing weight or whatever. I'm just saying these two are intrinsically connected. And, when you think about it, like I said, I was listening to Dr. Joe, and he said something I thought was really interesting. He said, thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. Now, your thoughts are electrical, and your body, your heart, this is where your emotions, they come out of your solar plexus, right in the middle of your chest, actually. That is more of a magnetic charge. So your brain is electric, your heart is magnetic. And together they produce an electromagnetic field around you, which is kind of pretty interesting. But the frequency of the volume of the wavelengths that you are emanating in this electromagnetic field, and everybody has a different one, different strengths of, they call it vibrational strength. That's what really kind of creates your state of being, is the syncopation of that energy from your electric and your magnetic. So when you have an instance where you think something and then you have a feeling of something, it takes about 17 seconds. And they've done this, they've done all the tests with, all the gadgets on your head and everything. But it takes about 17 seconds for that thought to gain momentum and be joined with another one. And trust me, when I was in the hardest part of my life, my 20-some year marriage fell apart. My kids were leaving the nest. Well, one was, and then I broke my neck and had to move 5 hours away and lost everything. I did some rumination. I mean, I had a cognitive issue too that I didn't even understand. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know if you don't know. It wasn't for a couple years later that I started understanding that things were much harder for me to connect, and those are getting, much better. I really kind of feel like I'm about 90% now. I still have some quirky things, but, taking care of myself emotionally, and then now also physically, I can, I had some neurological issues with my leg giving out for all these years. I would just go down like a sack of potatoes, no warning, nobody knew. I was walking with a cane for a while. And I really feel the eating right has helped those neurons that were broken or disrupted when I broke my neck, that they have kind of been repaired through proper nutrition, because everything is chemical in our body, and our thoughts are chemical, and we have the power to change our thoughts. So if it takes 17 seconds to gain momentum, and you have a thought that you don't particularly care for, don't let another one join it. That's called rumination. And that's what I probably did for almost 2 years, after I broke my neck. I will say probably, I was generally coming out of it because I was trying to help myself. But if I would have known this information, my world would have changed drastically, But on the other end, I bless it because I will never ever go back to a place where I let anything or anyone or any concept get me down. Because I know that if I have, you have your guidance system. I know that if I have a feeling that I don't particularly care for, I'm going to change the subject in my mind. Or I'm going to rethink it, which that was something that I talked about before. I have a cool little thing called the crazy box theory that I'm going to go over in a few days that relates to that. But I just want to kind of move on. So if you have anything that makes you tinge on insecure, whether it's somebody said something, you have the power to just not go there. Don't think about that. Don't progress on it. Think of puppies. Oh my gosh. Think of, I had for the longest time to help me get into the usage of this. I carried around a picture of my kids when they were babies. Now, what mom doesn't love that? And whenever that's how I pulled myself out of this rumination, and I also had stickies up on the wall of things that I loved and pictures of places that I loved that I can't help but smile. I mean, you show me a golden retriever puppy, I'm damn gonna smile because I love golden retriever puppies, and that changes that brain chemistry, and those thoughts, they go bye-bye. They do. Trust me on that. So, I just really wanted to put that out there. That is a life hack, and it is absolutely part of this challenge because we're not just here to just change how we eat and the way we feel, but we're here to support it by feeling good. That's a constant cycle. If you feel better, you're going to have more energy to eat better. If you eat better, you're going to feel better. And, that's yin and yang, baby. There's always part of this one that helps this one, and it's interspersed with the other. There's a little bit of a seed of something on the other side of the spectrum that if we nourish that seed, it's going to grow, and then it's going to cause everything else to work the way it needs to. So what I thought I would do today, I did some cooking yesterday. I'm going to do a bento box thing tomorrow, which is like how to set yourself up for the snacks. And that's going to be my thing for Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. And I just want to kind of do, like I said, a recap of all the things that we've accomplished here just in the last week. And like I said, this is about empowering yourself by empowering your food. And when you make a change like that, okay? So like I said, I've been really working hard on just eating super clean and staying away from anything that I have allergic, tendencies towards. And I was really frustrated, why aren't I dropping pounds? Because many of I had gained, I want to say it was, with the COVID thing, wearing sweats, and I didn't even realize it, but it's probably close to, over 15 pounds with some medication that I had to take for my seizures. And I couldn't get it off for love or money. Couldn't. And so that's kind of part of why I've started doing this issue. I had other health issues too, and I just figured that was just going to come along easy with the whole package if I'm trying to get everything else in line. But I didn't realize it was going to take me this long for my body to do the reset and then start acting like it should. And I don't know if any of you guys are out there that are trying, I'm sorry, but 90% of us want to drop a few pounds, that's just a given. So I know I'm speaking to the heart of a lot of people here when I say that, if you want to make a change, listen to what we're doing here. You know, it doesn't just happen right away. If it does, then it's too good to be true, and you're going to just put it right back on, because your body has like this little internal balance system, okay? That's why it took me so long, because I was so messed up, my adrenals and everything, from stress, from marriage, kids, work, running businesses, and, you know, life not being the way I had thought it was supposed to be. And, you know, I lived 20 years in fight or flight mode. Only now, I probably lived my whole life like that too. I had a very stressful growing up and home life, you know, too, as a kid. And I think the only time I was freewheeling was in college. Oh, to go back there. But I'm back to that. I'm back to who I was in college. And I'm proud of that person, and I love that person, and I don't know where she went, you know, with marriage and the whole thing. I don't, you know, but I taught myself how to get back to that. And these concepts that I'm sharing with you, they're the key. Like I said, there's more people understanding more things about what's going on physically, you know, by studying the brain and how it affects us emotionally, etc. And that whole nuance, like I said, the whole yin and yang thing, it's just amazing. But getting back to where I was, sorry, I do go down the rabbit hole, but there's just so much to talk about. But, you know, like I said, I've had people going, oh my God, you look great. Yeah, you know, you've lost some weight. You know, how you doing? Whatever. You know, the first thing you want to know is, what are you doing? My next door neighbor came over and we were playing cards, and twice now she said, I cannot believe how good your skin looks since you've been doing this, you know, this plan that you've been on. And, you know, I didn't even realize it. I'm like, wow, what did it look like before? But, you know, everyone wants to know, what have you been doing? And so I'm bringing this full circle around to the food thing, okay? Yeah, everyone knows what you've been doing. I'm like, well, I'm just eating right. Well, what have you been eating? Oh, no. It's not what I have been eating, because I was eating all that stuff along the way too, all this time, okay? And I still was in trouble. But the answer to that question, the true answer is, it's what I'm not eating. And that's our recap of this week, because that's what I have been going through all of these, 7, 8 days, are all of the little pitfalls that I was guilty of it too. And I should have known better. I should have been more reticent of what it was that was really still harming me. And I should have been aware that I really needed a little more help than just saying, oh, I've been eating right for years, and and everybody, you know, there's people out there that have changed their whole thing. And there's some of you there that are saying, oh, I'm sure everything I do is right, you know, but you really got to keep up with the science, and it's just going at a cyclical rate, but it's amazing. But so what we've learned is what's bad in food, okay? That was day one, and even a little before that. How it's grown, how it's made, how it's processed, how it's tweaked, GMOs. What are the pitfalls? All of those things, you know, and everything to do with that. And how to find it, okay? We did the label reading, okay? That's how you know what's in there. And, you know, that's a good episode, and that's good to go back to and re-look at and look at again. And there are people on the internet that do that too, and they're fabulous, you know. I also gave you some pointers on how to plan around eating the stuff that you're not supposed to eat or really isn't the best for you. We talked about go-tos. We said, hey, do a smoothie, do a salad, rework your go-tos. If you need my help and you want to send me a recipe, post a recipe on the website and, on the Facebook group. I'll redo it for you. I'll spend half an hour on it. I don't care. It's what I do. That's who I am. There's always a way to put something in front of yourself that's going to help you more. And the more that you recognize that and know that, the easier it is to go with something that's maybe a little not as yummy as you thought it was going to be. And what most people find out is they're amazed at how good things can taste when they just were, like, well, I can't go without cheese, or, my mom, I can't get her off of the sugar in the coffee. Like, Mom, try stevia. I don't like stevia. And I said, I didn't either. Try this little brand of stevia. This was like my gateway stevia. It was better than stevia, French vanilla. And they had little packets, and then they came out with a little thing. And because I could do it with drinks and other things, tea, but I couldn't stand stevia in my coffee. Now, today, any kind of stevia in my coffee is fine. It only took like a month. I sucked it up for a month where I was like, yeah, it's not as good. But once your body starts talking your brain into it and vice versa, you're good to go. It's fear of change. Everything that we do is through our reactions, our thoughts, our first response. Anything in the human experience is out of two places, one of two places. It's either fear or love, okay? So if you got the old ex-wife that, you don't like them, blah, blah, because of what happened, whatever, stop playing out of fear. Stop avoiding them, especially if you have kids, because the kids are the ones that suffer. Work out of a place of love for your kids and contact your ex and say, hey, let's just be friends here because it's going to be so much better for our kids. Work out of a place of love. If somebody cuts you off, one of the things that drives me nuts is when somebody, they don't like something you did, whatever the move. I mean, I'm not kidding. Yesterday, or this morning, I was driving my mom. I was driving back from the airport. Some guy speeds off, basically cuts me off. And then I kind of veered. Because he really cut me off. And then I drove up beside him and he looked over and gave me the finger, And so I had to say to myself, not everybody is on the same rung of the ladder. He's probably stressing out, trying to get to work, looking at this, maybe his girlfriend cheated on him, or maybe his kids are failing in school. Who knows? And he may be bringing that to the table while he's driving, and that frustration, he needs a meditation sequence, I'm telling you. But, that, instead of just taking responsibility for what he did and working from a place of love, he worked from a place of fear, hatred, it's all attached, and, flipped me off. Okay, so what's my reaction? Wow, buddy, I'm sorry things aren't working out for you like that. Because I'm not going to get into a road rage thing. What am I going to do? I'm going to compound that and bring the fear into my place. Of course, I was a little afraid because he's a crazy driver. I got into the next lane. But the point I'm trying to make is you're in the driver's seat. You don't have to feel like crap because somebody else did or said something, or something isn't working out the way you thought it should. If it's not working out the way you thought it should, it's either there to be your teacher or it's there to give you an idea of what you don't want so that you are laser focused on what you do want, okay? My life, perfect example. That was the biggest thing that I learned. All this stuff that made me upset in my whole life, and I sat and ruminated about, I realized, you know what? This is a blessing because now I know exactly what I don't want, okay? I know what I don't want. And so I'm going to be that much more able to see it if it's coming at me and say, nope, don't want that, not going to make that choice. And so next time I'm going to be better prepared and just all around better for it, the things that happen, I used to say to my kids, if anything goes wrong in your life, and this is what I learned living, the tough childhood I had, it's if anything goes wrong in your life, either look in the mirror, okay? Because there's something you're not doing, you're bringing it in somehow. Is there something you can change? And secondly, don't sit there and dwell on it and feel bad about it, because pretty soon you're gonna, if you're smart and you listen to your mama who's smart, you're gonna sit there and figure out a way to make a good out of that bad and make a blessing out of what you thought was, getting the shit end of the stick. Pardon my French, but I wanted to make that point. So anyway, we have learned so many things. I've given you guys specific rules and guidelines of a meal, stay away from limit your protein, go more vegetables, colorful vegetables, how we've set up all of those things. I'm going to post a couple of my my little hack worksheets that I about that. I've also given you specific structure or how to set up your own structure for some habit change in the morning, like you're doing a morning priming thing. So I'm gonna repost some of those and put those in there. It's just a guideline for you to pick what's gonna work for you. But we also did the test recipe yesterday, which is simple. Go to magic plate. We did the chicken fajitas. We had it's a stir fry. Okay, basically a stir fry is throw some meat and some veggies and some oil and fry it. Just got to get the right oil. I posted the Mexican Southwestern flavor profile. I mean, that's all you got to do. You can mix it up, mix and match. You could have done that in an Asian way. I could have done it Italian. I could have done it Greek. I could have done it Thai. Very simply with just switching out a few different ingredients. So that magic plate, that is so easy. And, I didn't make rice. I didn't do the tortillas. I did a side of asparagus with it, and it looked so beautiful that I decided that I was going to post it as my little, the picture on the top of the Facebook page. So it came out really beautiful because of all those colors, but those colors are giving you all the different nutrients. We can go down the weeds into that, but we don't need to. If you just follow the simple guidelines, I have them right here, my little processes. Oh, I thought I had it there. I don't. And I'm also going to post a thing of good snacks, good snack pairs, because that'll kind of lead up to the bento box. I'll probably post it again tomorrow. But so I've given you the recipe blueprints. I've given you the flavor categories. This in a nutshell is a mini version of my whole 3-month course that I do with my clients. I mean, obviously we go into greater depths and we spend time and it's, personal and, but all of this information, you can plug it in. This is all on YouTube. You can go back. It's on my page. And, if you haven't been participating, go back and start. They're labeled day one, whatever. And if you're still having trouble and you need somebody for accountability or, you want to go a couple steps deeper and you really are serious, the doctor called and said, hey, and you really are in trouble, or somebody that's really in trouble, because I do groups, I do husband and wife, kind of things, or I've done sisters. That doesn't sound right, but I've had clients that were sisters together and we get on the phone and do a group call. It's all there for you. Call me, I'll help you, but I just wanted to do just a rehash today. Look, we've gone 29 minutes, darn. Okay, so I'm going to let it go at that. I could go on for hours. I could give you 10 other different little tricks and tips. And, you know, like I said, that's who I am and that's what I do. And my mission is to help you. My mission is to start a revolution of people that eat with their mind, their brains, and not their bellies. And they are not subjected to being sheep, you know, of the food industry and big business and government and all that stuff, you know. We all need to be independently aware of certain things, be smart, educate ourselves, and just pick the right choices and be leaders for our friends and our family, our kids, you know. So anyway, jumping off my soapbox now, and I'm gonna go run some errands, and I hope that you all have just the most fabulous, beautiful, lovely, wonderful day.